Well, welcome everybody. This is our Couples, Cocktails, and Conversations. My name is Jamie Peterson. I am a consultant with Rodan Fields. I've been in the business for about 7 years. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going to happen tonight. So these are very casual conversations. We've actually named this a Couples, Cocktails, and Conversations event. So it's really fun. My husband, Bret's going to be joining us in just a few minutes. I don't know about you guys, but we've got 3 kids, and they're still kind of running around the house, so he's on daddy duty at the moment, but that's kind of the best part of this business, right? You get to do this around your families, the most important people. So tonight what's going to happen is I'm going to share a lot about the brand and who we are. If you're just learning about Rodan Fields, it's good to kind of have some background. I'm going to talk to you about the products and why, you know, we are the company that we are, and we're so passionate about these products. And then I'm going to bring my cute hubby, Bret, in to give his really honest perspective of, you know, building this business and also what he sees as a market trend. And he's a financial advisor, so it'll be some good information. And they'll kind of wrap it up and throw it back to you. Just a little disclosure, you know, these are my opinions. They haven't been endorsed by Rodan Fields, but I can tell you I've been doing it for a long time. So everything you're going to hear is truthful. If you want more information and you want to dive in more, hit our rodanandfields.com website. There's everything you could possibly need there to really get that more information or elaborate on different points. So enough of that stuff. So I've been doing this business for just over 7 years. My background was in the stock market. I was a financial advisor, and I was in the market for 13 years. And I actually loved what I did. It's how I met my husband, Bret, who obviously is still in the stock market. And what happened for us, though, was about 7 years ago, we had 2 kids under 2. And I quickly recognized that I just didn't want my corporate America job anymore. I loved what I did. I loved to have something that was my own. I love that competitive spirit, but I really wanted to do it on my own terms. So I wasn't exactly what that next opportunity was going to be, but I was definitely looking. It was my mom and my sisters who introduced me to Rodan Fields. And very honestly, guys, at first I said no. I didn't see how it made sense. It felt very, very different than my professional career. I might have had some misconceptions about the industry or this channel. And I just was really hesitant. But what happened was I was very fortunate to meet our previous CEO and president. Her name is Lori Bush. She had come to Chicago. That's where I live. And I got to hear her speak and really talk about, okay, I'm taking a quick pause. I'm seeing that someone says it's frozen. Is anyone else seeing that the screen is frozen? I'm going to keep going until I hear okay, good. Thank you. So, okay, good. Okay. So I got to meet Lori, and thanks guys. I appreciate your help. I got to meet Lori, and she just shared the vision of the company. And she talked about, you know, the background of our doctors, which I'm going to go into in a minute, and their success that they had with Proactive and how they were out to redefine direct sales. And, you know, she just shared so many things that I thought seemed so smart from a business perspective, really taking cutting edge technology and basically making a virtual franchise. And I love that. I thought that makes so much sense. Everyone I know is so busy. We're on the go. If we can run a business on our terms from our devices, you know, that would be great. So when everything I heard her say, I just really compared it to what I did as a financial advisor. And I thought, you know what, this is an opportunity too good to pass up. My original goal, to be very honest, was I hope I can make a couple $1,000s a month to help pay the mortgage, work from home, have flexibility, and have something of my own. Now, it grew into something far more than that. I will tell you, I've been very consistent since the beginning. After a year in this business, I was able to retire from the stock market. And then with every passing year, the kids got older. I was able to give more and more time to it. We did add one other child to the mix during the way, but I love that flexibility of it. You know, everyone that knows me well knows it's kind of hard to really share what the income has turned into. But I think it's really important for you guys if you're looking as an opportunity of how this could be a good fit for your family. What started off as a mortgage payment has grown into a 6-figure monthly income. And the only way that could ever happen is because of our phenomenal brand and the products that truly deliver. And so that's why we're really passionate about sharing our stories with you guys. I will tell you, I could never do this alone. My biggest passion in this business is giving back, and our team is called Team Give. We've actually got so many phenomenal leaders and givers, as we call ourselves, from all over the US and Canada and Australia and different military bases around the world with us tonight. So it's such a pleasure to have everyone here, and we're really passionate about this mission to give back. So hopefully you'll hear some really great information and see how this could possibly be a good fit for you. So enough about me. Let's talk about the brand and who we are. So the doctors, as I mentioned, they created Proactive back in the 1984 area. They were besties from Stanford. They graduated together. They loved dermatology and they wanted to change the world. So they created Proactive Solution. One of the interesting things, when I was actually meeting with Lori Bush, she shared with us a story about when she was running Neutrogena. She said these two beautiful doctors from Stanford came to her with this acne product they were trying to sell to Neutrogena, wanting to call it Proactive. And she said we could see that it worked, but we didn't think people were going to purchase it next to Clearasil because that price point was too different. And we didn't think people were going to use this multi-step approach to acne care. So they passed on Proactive and said, you two are beautiful, you should be on TV. Well, we kind of all know the rest of that story, right? Proactive went on to dominate the global acne market, and she told us that it was one of the biggest professional mistakes that she had ever made. And so, you know, that's why she jumped at the chance of being our president and CEO for the last 10 years, actually. But with that success, you know, so many people would just say, I'm done, I'm gonna go hang out on the beach somewhere, but that's not who our doctors are. They love dermatology. They both still practice today. They both still teach today. They are passionate about dermatology, bringing dermatological skincare to the masses, because there's only one dermatologist for every 10,000 people. And there's a huge need for truly clinical and really having skincare that actually really delivers. And so that's the passion behind the company. So they, of course, created Proactive, but they wanted to do more. So in 2002, they created an entirely separate company called Rodan Fields. But rather than doing the infomercial route, they took it into high-end department stores like Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, and Henry Bendel. What happened was when they entered the department stores, Nordstrom, you know, this huge conglomerate that owns so many different companies, they purchased Rodan Fields because they needed a clinical skincare line under their mega umbrella, okay? Rodan Fields did phenomenally well. They actually were in the #1 clinical brand in a number of the stores that they were in. Here's the problem. How many people have gone to a department store that often? We don't, right? We're super busy. We don't go anymore. We do all of our purchasing online. Actually, Bret's going to talk about that a little bit later. So what they said, and then what they saw happening in the market was, hey, we've got this phenomenal brand that's delivering results and people love it. We're just in the wrong marketplace. Let's take it out of the department stores, buy it back from Estee Lauder, and put it and give it to the people who are sharing it with their friends. Let's give it to the people who are using it and allow them and empower them to be entrepreneurs. So, you know, unprecedented move. They purchased themselves back from Estee Lauder and purposely launched us into the direct selling channel with the emphasis of, let's redefine this channel. Let's make it cutting edge, give our consultants a phenomenal compensation plan, state-of-the-art technology, and all the things that people kind of hesitate about, like myself. Let's kick those things to the curb, okay? And another thing that was happening during that time when they made this choice was you saw the real estate market down, the stock market down, which definitely was affecting our household, and this huge rise in social media. So we really look at ourselves as a social commerce company far more than a direct selling company, because that's really how we have grown so fast. So we started March 1st of 2008, and today, fast forward, now I will tell you the numbers I'm about to give you were as of 2015. We're very excited and anxiously awaiting corporate to announce the 2016 numbers. But as of last year, we were the #2 premium skincare company in the US. And the ranking of that is Clinique was #1, we're #2, and then we passed both Estee Lauder and Lancome in that year. Companies that have been around since the mid-1900s. So it really speaks to how ahead of the trend we've always been on this social commerce platform. So I'm obsessed with our brand and our background and how we got here. That's the reason I said yes. But the reality is we wouldn't have a company if we didn't have great clinical skincare that actually delivers. So I'm going to do a very high level bit of information for you guys tonight, literally super high level. So if you want to dive more into ingredients and how things work and percentages, be sure to wrap back to the person who invited you to the call. Okay, so first, Reverse Regiment. It's the yellow one we love. It's actually why we're the #1 brand in so many of those Nordstrom stores. I kind of call it boot camp for your skin. If there's freckles or melasma or maybe that pregnancy mask a lot of us get, if there's something just bothering you about your skin, I love starting there because it's that boot camp that just really, visibly changes that appearance of those dark marks, that dullness that can happen. It's fantastic. And we usually suggest everyone actually goes through that. The next thing is our Unblemished Regiment. So you can imagine what that's for. That's to, combat those pesky acne that can sometimes pop up. Totally different formulation, totally different company than Proactive, guys. But it's kind of near and dear to all of our hearts because of all the success stories you hear with teenagers where their confidence comes back when their skin's clearing up, or even us as mainly, women. We think that those days are supposed to be done as teenagers, and in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, they can pop back up again. And it's such a great solution to really take care of that. One of the things I love about it too is that kind of some of those dark marks that can be left behind with pimples, it really addresses those as well, which is really, really nice. The next thing is our green line is our Soothe Regiment. It's the favorite thing in our house. We all seem to have sensitive skin. So if you're somebody that has sensitive skin, any redness, anything, any kind of sensitivity in your skin, this is really going to help. It's actually one of our best from a feature of, it's written up in the most dermatological journals because of really how it's calming your skin, okay? From our clinicals, and every single market we bring to market, every single product we bring to market goes through a clinical trial and a third party, of course. And what I love about our Soothe is it takes down the redness by over 50% in 5 minutes and over 70% over the course of a 2-week period. So if you're somebody that suffers from that redness or, hormonal changes, or maybe we're drinking a glass of wine and we're already seeing our cheeks getting flushed, this is the place to be. I love it. And it's so phenomenal for our kiddos' skin too, which is super sensitive. Okay, keeping going here. So our redefined regimen is what we're out to own, you guys. We see the huge $5 billion anti-aging market in the United States. It's phenomenal. I think we're all trying to fight it. I know I'm inching closer to 40 all the time. So I'm paying attention to those pores and the width and depth of my wrinkles and making sure I'm extending my skincare down my neck because I don't let that, give away my age or anything as well. So obviously we're all aging all the time. We really want to reverse the signs of that. So to our core, you guys, we are a clinical skincare multi-med therapy company. These are the 4 major skincare concerns. And so that is where our passion is. We really believe when people use the right ingredients in the right order, it delivers results. Because of that, everything we offer has a 60-day empty bottle guarantee. So find the perfect regimen for you. We have a great solution tool that helps you do that actually. But once you find that, you use it appropriately. If you don't see the results that we say you're going to, we'll absolutely help you get a full refund for your empty product after 60 days. So those are our basic regimens, but there's a few fun things too. And since there's some guys on the line, I have to share. Our Beyond the Shave is a really great regimen for the guys. Of course, everything we have is unisex and every ethnicity, but the Beyond the Shave is kind of tailored to guys who are shaving. So it's one of my husband's favorites, so you boys might enjoy it as well. Okay, so let's quickly talk about some of the tools. So one of the great things about our company is, even though these are our bread and butter and we're obsessed with our main regimens, we are always innovating, and there are so many new exciting technologies coming in skincare. So one of our favorite things is called the AmpMD roller. It's got 192 clinical grade acupuncture needles on it. Actually, what it's going to do is just prepare your skin for the products that are coming. This is actually named the best spent minute in anti-aging, and that was on the Today Show. So that's really exciting. I'm basically rolling everywhere these days. Another thing that's really exciting is our acute care patches, which we brought out just a couple years ago. What's exciting about this is it's really skincare meets technology. So these are actually produced on semiconductor plants, and what they really do is they have 225 liquid cones in them of hyaluronic acid and peptides. So guys, and a lot of girls, I know when I started in this business, I had no clue what any of these products meant. But really what those things are doing is as you sleep, you're going to find those expression lines that you might not love, and they could be around here. You're going to, just like you would peel off a Band-Aid, you're going to put it on that expression line right before you go to bed. As we sleep, our skin warms up, our pores widen a little bit, put that on there and it soaks right in, and it really starts that process of, changing the appearance of how the width and depth of that wrinkle looks. So we love our acute care, and of course we love the science behind it. Forbes named this one of the top 10 most innovative products of 2015. So phenomenal. And last but not least is our Lash Boost. We just launched this this fall. It's been an incredible thing for our company. What it's really doing is making your eyelashes the darker looking, longer looking, fuller looking lashes. And while that might not seem important, what's so fun about them is the longer your lashes look, ladies, the more your eyes pop, the more the resiliency of your skin comes through. It just gives you that overall youthful look. And so, it's a great complement to all of our regimens. One exciting thing is we actually have a great promotion on these right now with 20% off with this and our regimens, which is a fun place for us to really offer to our very loyal preferred customers. So again, you guys, our products are who we are. We are a dermatological skincare company above everything else. We want our customers to have and our consultants to have phenomenal results. So they're always putting their best face forward, feeling confident, feeling empowered, and that is who we are. So we've talked about the brand, we've talked about our phenomenal products. Now I get to invite in my favorite person in the whole world, my sweet husband, Bret Peterson. He's going to come sit by me. And I'm going to turn it to him, and I'll just preface, since I'm kind of the disclosure girl, that Bret's not a consultant. I'm the consultant, but he's been by my side every day for 7 years, and he's excited to give you his point of view. So thanks, babe.
Thanks, babe. Wow, Zoom, huh? Never done this. Well, hey, thanks for everyone being on the call tonight. I think the most important things that I want to cover tonight. First off, I want to thank my wife for having me on the call tonight, and especially given that she gave me about 24 hours notice, so that worked out well. Lots of time to prepare. But anyway, obviously, all kidding aside, I want to cover a few things tonight with everybody. Really, two main things I want to cover tonight, and I've talked about this on a few calls before, is that I really want to cover the honest male perspective, number one, okay? What it's like to be a guy in the business, supporting your wife, what that's like and what my journey's been like the last 7 years. Second thing is, as a financial advisor, which I'll get into a little bit with the background, I think it's important to talk a little bit about, from a financial advisor's perspective, because that's really the honest perspective I can give you, is why this opportunity is so huge, I think, and why I think that the business is changing, the world is changing. So, a couple of takeaways that you can walk away with. So I think that's important. But first off, my background, really, really briefly, I'm a financial advisor with UBS. I worked with Morgan Stanley my first 10 years. I transitioned all my clients over to UBS about 6 years ago. So I've been doing this about 16 years, creating financial plans, love what I do. Not going to be joining full-time with Jamie anytime soon, but that's all right. But I definitely want to start with that. And then also, all right, so let's start number one. First thing is, what's it like at the beginning? What's it like once you sign up? What's it like throughout the years to be a male and be a supportive husband throughout this whole process? So for me, at least, I was not the most supportive husband from the beginning. I definitely had some time. It took me a while, to really buy into this. And it was at the beginning of the company, I get that. But I definitely, a lot, I wouldn't say a lot more, but there was definitely some times when I had to watch the kids, a lot more than I normally would. It's babysitting, but it's not really. It's my kids, I guess. But anyway, so I think that's important. I think that you have to know that there's going to be a little bit more of that, sacrifice on our end at the beginning, right? But I think what really turned it for me was really two things. Number one is a paycheck. So when I started seeing that she was making some good money, started to bring home a sizable paycheck, obviously as a guy, I'm going, hey, you know what? I think I might be able to buy into this a little more. But I think the second thing is most important for anyone starting is that you treat it like a business from day one. And what I mean by that is, if you treat the business like a side thing that you kind of do every now and then, you don't really, look at much, you're not really into, then the results are going to be that way. All right? So if you treat it like a business from day one, and that's what Jamie did. I mean, she would have seminars with very few people there. She was rolling along, and she always treated it like a big business, and eventually it became a big business. So I think that's a really important point that really turned it for me is, building my own business myself, I saw the same things we had to go through to get to that point, okay? So that really turned it for me. So, I was a non-believer, turned believer after a while, but it definitely took me some time. So Second thing I want to talk about tonight is, and I'm going to be brief tonight, is that I really want to talk about from a financial advisor perspective, from an overall stock market business perspective, I would like to talk about why this company is where it is right now and why it's going to continue to explode in the future. All right. So first off, I don't know if you guys know Jim Cramer. I've had this talk a couple times, but I'm not going to go into it too deep. I have some updates to it. But Jim Cramer is the host of Mad Money on CNBC, and he coined a phrase about, I think it was about 3 years ago or so. He coined a phrase of 4 market-changing, business-changing companies that are really changing the face of business, the world in general, which is FANG. Okay, it's an acronym for Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Okay, so these 4 companies specifically have changed the world. I mean, look around. I mean, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google are a part of all of our lives on a regular basis. Okay, so why is that important? Well, I look at RNF and there's many similarities. Okay, first off, social media. I mean, the social media craze the last 10 years is incredible, right? I mean, everyone's on Facebook, everyone's on Snap, everyone's on Twitter, Instagram. So I think social media is a huge driver of our business and RNF, obviously. Secondly, with Amazon is online selling, right? I mean, we can pretty much do anything from our couch now. Okay, we can buy anything. And that's not going away. It's only getting bigger. All right. Now, Netflix, what I really think is unique about Netflix and Google is their unique product sets, right? They have that unique content, okay, a lot like RNF has, right? RNF has those unique products that no one else has, okay, that separates them, right? I think the last thing that all 4 of those companies possess is top upper level management. That is critical to any company's success. Mark Zuckerberg on down the line, and you look at Dr. Katie Rodan and Dr. Kathy Fields. They have really taken this company to a new level. So having that upper level management is huge, along with the rest of our corporate team, okay? So what specifically I found today, to kind of update a little bit on that, and I can go into numbers with you a little bit more, obviously, after the call, but one takeaway this week that I think is really something that we can look at moving forward is Warren Buffett. Obviously, everyone, I think, has heard of Warren Buffett, right? One of the most wealthy individuals in the world. He runs Berkshire Hathaway. This just happened actually 2 days ago, I believe, on Valentine's Day, I believe. The article hit me and I said, wow, I read this. I'm going to send this out to everybody. But Warren Buffett, literally 2 days ago, just sold all of his Walmart stock. Now, why is that significant? He has almost $1 billion stake in Walmart, okay, that he's held for many, many years. He liquidated all of it, moved it into some airlines and into some other areas, into Apple and some other areas. So you're seeing the most successful investor in the history of investing selling his brick and mortar company and saying, we're done. That's incredibly significant. Okay. That is drawing a line in the sand and saying that's the end of brick and mortar. That might be the end of retail as we know it today. Everyone is consuming differently. That's the key to what I think we need to talk about. Everyone is consuming products and engaging people differently now than ever before. Walmart's former CEO in 2012 said, and I quote, "I wish we would have gotten into e-commerce earlier." He literally said on one of his conference calls, we are now playing catch up. And for the last 5 years, they have been playing catch up, which is incredibly important that we in 2007, when this company started, were already in social media, okay, looking at that as word of mouth as the way to go. Already all online, a lot like Amazon, and already with a top upper level management with amazing products. So those 4 companies that have changed the world, Warren Buffett sees it. Now we need to see it, okay? This is where the world is headed. It already is. And if you're not on the train, you're going to get run over, okay? So that's really important right now. So, last thing I'll say is from that honest male perspective, I love to talk about it, in terms of stocks and in terms of the financial world, because that's what I do. But the bottom line is that we need to really look at the fact that people right now are consuming products in a much different way than they ever have. And this is what it's all about. And this company is at the forefront of that. So if you have any doubts, really look at how they've gotten to this point, not just where they're at, but how they're going to get in that next, level, which they're heading into across the whole world. I mean, we've just scratched the surface. So I guess I'll leave it at that. But thanks for having me on, baby.
Thank you. Did you ever think you'd do this with me 7 years ago?
No, this whole Zoom thing's pretty cool.
Okay, good. Well, I love
I have to get my cocktail. So we'll see it.
We are cocktailing and coupling this tonight. So thanks, babe, for being here. I literally never thought 7 years ago he'd come on a call with me, and he gave himself a little bit of a hard time because he really was my supporter all along. But I love hearing the truth of, everything takes time, right? And so let's bring this back to you guys tonight. We shared my story. We've shared the brand, who we are, and our background, and our passion of what we see happening. We talked about the products that really deliver. And the reality is, you guys, this is just the beginning. We try to take these numbers of what kind of market space are we looking at here. And for the longest time, we've been talking about a $5 billion anti-aging market. Some numbers I just got from corporate earlier this week is we are actually looking more of about an $18 billion industry. So we haven't even scratched the surface of what's to come. If you look at what we've done versus companies like Estee Lauder and Lancome and Clinique, and since, like I mentioned earlier, March 1st of 2008, going as fast as we can within 7 years and already getting to that number 2 spot. And then we can't wait for these new numbers to come, you guys, because we haven't released the 2016 numbers yet. The sky is the limit. Truly, doing over $1 billion in sales last year, not through brick and mortar, no paid advertising, no celebrity endorsements. It's people like me and you, honest people who can share results because we want our friends, our family, our colleagues to feel their best. Or perhaps we're excited to share an opportunity with other people. I'm a big believer. I don't want to pressure anyone or sell something to somebody. I do want to share something, though, that has changed my life. And so I'm very passionate about sharing the products that could, give somebody a totally different outlook about themselves and give them that little pep in their step, or giving them a business that can do many, many things. It can be, and I think this is great, it can be the Shameless Shoe Fund, or guys, it can be your golf fund. It can be the way you give back, or maybe just saving that few extra $100 a month leads into a trip for your family once a year on vacation. I wanted the mortgage payment, and it grew into a legacy for our family. The only way to do that in this business, you guys, is through teamwork and inviting people who you love and you care about and you respect, who you think might see what you see, to join you and help them be successful on their own terms. So to bring it back to you, what is that thing that in your life that you're missing? What would you love? Would you love that time freedom? Would you love to see, more flexibility? Would you love to give back more? Travel? What is that thing? I always say that this business is just your vehicle to do it. But the difference is with this business and any other career, the sky is the limit. You're the boss on your terms, and depending on how hard you work it and how consistent you are, you get to choose that. And then you have us and the person that invited you to this call to help you be successful, to help you, teach you, and train you on all the things that we've learned along the way, on how to be exactly who you are and allow this to be an extension of you because you're passionate about helping others and empowering them to live the life on their terms that they're looking for. We are in the US and Canada. We haven't even scratched the surface here, not to mention that we're beginning our global expansion to Australia within just weeks. On March 2nd, we announced the official launch of Australia. And we have so many excited Australians ready to join us because they're entrepreneurial. They love to travel. They love to live life. They love to be around their family. And so do we, and I'm hoping so do you. There is an incredible opportunity here laid out by our founders. This is their legacy company. They sold all their interest in Proactive last year to fully focus on Rodan Fields, on how to empower every man and woman to have something different in their life. Many of you are connected with me on social media, and today I posted a little quote that is one of my favorite things. Is one of the greatest experiences I've ever had was traveling to Australia last year with my husband and some of our dearest friends, and we had a great conversation with Dr. Katie Rodan on the flight back, and she shared with us that she didn't have the choice to stay home. She had to go to work. And I'm betting there's a lot of people on this call that have that exact same, situation. You don't have a choice. Here's what we're here to say. We think you do. We think you have the choice on choosing, if by fitting this in the nooks and crannies of your life and being consistent with that 6 months, a year, a couple of years from now, that can look really different if you want it to. So we are so thankful that you've been with us tonight. I hope that you've gotten some good nuggets. Again, please know everything we've shared, from the brand, the timeline, the products, the unlimited press that we get. We didn't even really go into our press tonight and all the accolades and awards we've won, but it's all there. It's all there for you. If anything I could tell you, our company's motto is integrity beyond reproach. In Team Give, our only heart is to make you successful, whatever success looks like to you. And I promise you, we have not scratched the surface. So thank you for being with us. Thanks for giving my husband a lot of love too. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed your cocktail, had some good food for thought. And we would love for you to join us in this business and welcome you to the team. We've got some actually really great incentives right now from corporate. I know a lot of leaders are offering some really fun incentives from the business as well. Be sure to ask them about our kit reimbursement program too, through our Fast Start program. We want you to be successful, guys, and we want you to have the best skin of your life at the same time. So we appreciate your time. We'd love to have you join us in business. If that's not for you, please also know that there's phenomenal products, and we appreciate your referrals and being our biggest cheerleaders, because we need you every step of the way. So have a great night. Thank you so much. Be sure to circle back to the person who invited you, and we can't wait to welcome you to the team. Bye, guys. Have a great night.
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.